Welcome back to Getting Started with Amazon FBA. And in this video, we are going to be talking about the best practices when you go through the actual listing process, some things that you need to know before you get started listing and as you are going through the listing process. Now, one of the things that you do want to be aware of is that Amazon does make tools available to you to automate some of the listings. So when you have lots of items and they're similar in the way that they're listed, you want to be able to save time and get them actually uploaded, and you want to use those bulk tools. Now, those bulk tools are going to be available to you if you are a professional seller. Now, there are other third-party tools available if you decide not to be a professional seller, but for the most part, you will have the bulk listing tools available to you when you are a professional in Amazon FBA. One of the best practices that many FBA sellers use is to be effective with their keywords. Keywords are going to be the way that your buyer finds you. And much like you would do with any search engine, you want to make sure that you give yourself the maximum opportunity to be found by your buyers. Now, there is software available called Merchant Word software. It is third-party software, but it will give you an indication of what you can use in terms of keywords and then what will be effective for you when you start to do your listing. The price is fairly affordable. It is $30 a month, or if you're going to be doing more and more volume, it's going to be about $900 a month, but you can start at the $30 a month level and use it effectively. Now, some other suggestions that FBA sellers use. You don't want to use the repeat the keywords that you use in the title in other parts of your description. You want to try to be more descriptive. And again, using the software and making sure that you're most effective with your words. And then when possible, you want to use competitors' names and keywords. And in general, when you start thinking about keywords, you want to start thinking about every combination that a user could be typing in order to find their item. And if you can, you want to try to include them in your description, include them in your keywords without repeating. So again, this is a fairly straightforward process with the software, but even if you don't use the software, you want to start thinking, what would a person type in? What could a person type in if they were looking for the item that I am selling? Now, one of the things that Amazon sellers talk about a lot, at least those who have been the most prolific and the most successful, is winning the buy box. And that 78% of all sales on Amazon are made here. And basically, the buy box is when you type in a search or you're typing in an item, you will find that there will be a number of products to appear on the front page, almost like it would work on the search engines. And so you want to make sure that your product is going to show up there when a buyer is looking for a particular product. And there are some things that you can do in order to influence the chance that that buyer is going to see you. And here are some of the best practices. One is that you want to be the lowest price, including shipping. And so you can do that pretty much objectively. You can take a look at what some of the other products are. You can take a look at where there are when shipping is considered. And if you can be the lowest price one, you will show up, or you can show up in the buy box. Try to sell an item that no one has within a specific category. This will allow you to be found when others will not. Again, this is going to be dictated pretty much by what it is you're going to have available to you in your inventory, but you can actually bring unique items into a category or into a particular search, and then you will actually increase your chances of being seen in the buy box. And one of the tools one of the tricks and tips that Amazon sellers are using today very effectively is to be able to bundle items to create unique versions of the search. So if someone is looking for a particular item, you can actually bunch together or bundle together either two at a time in order to sell multi-packs, or sometimes you can combine items. You might combine a gift pack. You might combine something into a particular container or mug or something that will, again, just give your product something or some way for your buyer to get something uniquely, and that it will allow you to stand out from other buyers and increase your opportunities to be seen in the buy box. Now, one of the best practices that of FBA sellers is being very detailed and complete in their product description. Now, again, we talked about the fact that you want to be careful not to overuse keywords, particularly in the description, especially when you've used them in the title, but you do want to be very detailed and describe your product accurately. You want to make sure that the buyer knows exactly what they're getting. At the same time, you want to give your buyer the maximum opportunity to find you. And again, buyers use different ways in order to find the products they're looking for, whether or not they're looking for them in Google, whether or not they're looking for them in particular in Amazon, and you can increase your opportunity to be seen in front of that buyer by being accurate and being complete in your description. So you'll often see on Amazon where some sellers are not necessarily paying close attention and writing detailed descriptions. This is an area where you can actually control the level at which you compete, even being new. So again, be detailed and accurate in your description. Now, another practice that Amazon FBA sellers, or at least those who have achieved success, they try to use the largest possible image in a particular listing as they possibly can. And again, obviously this helps in getting buyers excited about a particular item, and it probably helps in actually being visible when someone is actually doing a search. So do what you can to find the largest possible items. Make sure they are high resolution, but make sure that you're following Amazon's guidelines for your images. But within that limit, make sure that your images are as large of a resolution and as large as you can. Now, often you'll hear that you want to compete on the basis of price, and this is often very true. But we talked about bundling in this video. We also talked about multi-packs. So try to find ways in which you can give your buyer more value, but yet you increase the price that they're actually going to pay, even if they have to get 2 items. And there really is a reason for this. And one of the reasons is that lower cost items ultimately take more time and effort. And so you want to be as efficient and effective with your time as you can. And one of the ways in which you do that is you find ways to get your buyer to spend more. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're getting less value. You do want to make sure that when the buyer does the math in their head, or they do the calculation, that they're ultimately getting more value. However, you want to find ways and look for ways to increase your selling price, even if you have to do bundles or multi-packs. And then the other reason is that lower cost items just take more shipping and handling resources. And so you want to make sure that if you're going to go through the process of actually shipping something, you want to make sure that it is worth your time. That's going to be worth the time of the buyer and of Amazon FBA, and you can do that as you increase your price. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video.